In those moments where you can't decide, you're going back and forth, should I, shouldn't I? Oh, I'll come back to it. You might criticize yourself as being indecisive and that it's like a failure in some way that you can't decide. I'm here to say this isn't failure. This is the body in protective mode. If you are curious to understand the reason why the body is doing what it's doing to protect us and how we can find a sustainable way of working with that so that we can make aligned decisions and have follow through on those, then stick around. Let's get into this topic. So most advice out there is around if you get enough information or make a calculation and have enough determination, you can follow through, you can decide and follow through on something. But I'm here to say that's missing something really crucial. We need much more than just this mind information gathering and weighing up. And tell me if you've experienced this, even over the most smallest of decisions. Have you find yourself pondering for minutes, hours, days almost, maybe even longer? I know I have over certain decisions, and say you finally do make up your mind about something, you still don't follow through and take action, even if you've collected all this information, you've done all this weighing up. I'd love to hear if you're willing to share maybe what one of those has been for you. So if we're still in that indecisive moment, or if we've made our mind up but we're still not taking action, both of those are indicators of a body state. And it's not because the mind is too busy, it's because we need emotional permission, and this is key. So my story, a simple story, is an IT system, well, multiple systems actually. Or I'd say I pondered over this and was indecisive for, gosh, I could say with some of it over a year, say, because I think I quickly dismissed it with things like, well, I'm just not very good at that and I don't understand it well enough. But that wasn't the real issue. That wasn't the real block for me to fully decide if that was the route, the system that I wanted to work with, the software, and then learn and improve and understand it. It wasn't that. It was an emotional capacity issue. I didn't want to go there. I didn't want the feelings of insecurity that come up when you're unsure of yourself, that fear of not knowing if I'd get it right or not, all the other fears, waste of money, time, all of those things. I didn't even want to experience those. And because because my body didn't want to go there, didn't give permission to feel those insecurities or those feelings, the decision remained open. And when I say permission, if you imagine it like a bouncer on a door, you want to get in. It's one of those situations, your name's not down, you're not coming in, you're judging that person's safe enough or okay enough to come in to the club. It's the same thing with this with emotions. It's going, if we go into making a decision here, I don't know if I'm ready to feel those emotions, let those in, we'll bouncer it, we'll hold those off, which leads or appears like the indecision or the moments where we go, yeah, okay, I think I want this thing, but then you can't step through. That is the pause point. It's when things feel emotionally risky. The nervous system naturally pauses action on it, and this is why it outwardly appears as indecision. And I still notice this in myself, this tendency. I'm aware of those pauses, those moments of indecision. However, I don't confuse hesitation with failure anymore. I'm now curious about what's behind the hesitation, what needs space here. And over time, I was increasing my capacity to sit with things like uncertainty, the fear of getting it wrong, that discomfort you can feel even after you've decided. And it was only when that became tolerable, I'm not saying it didn't go away, but tolerable enough so that I could make a decision that felt right for me and take action on it. It was only when I was able to sit with, breathe with those feelings, I was working with the body and able to move on a bit in my life, rather than being held up by all these decisions, because we are deciding things all the time, moment to moment. And if we're getting stuck on a number of these, This builds accumulative stresses in the body. They remain as open loops. So the more we're better able over time to learn to work with them, work with that bouncer. Why is the bouncer there? Permission point. What's that all about? And can we edge into that safely and carefully? Now, if you're wondering, well, how do we do that? How do we go there? It could be in that moment reflecting on what am I really feeling here? I have got a safe to feel guided meditation and breath work. I'll leave it in the description below. And that just helps create a space to edge into these feelings. So go check that out if that feels right for you. So, if you can't make your mind up about something right now, doesn't mean you're failing in some way. It often means the body hasn't given permission to feel the emotion that is associated with that decision. And that's a body state, not a personality trait. Anyway, it's been wonderful to have you here. It'd be lovely to hear from you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.